Good feedback. We're like the untalented version of Daft Punk right now,
Right? This is beautiful.
right? All right. Well, welcome, welcome, fans. Thank you guys for joining us this evening. I'm Ryan,
I'm Colin.
and tonight on Duel of the Fans, we're going to be chatting some of the recent Star Wars news, and we're going to review a little bit of footage and release for Skeleton Crew. Just
Yes.
kind of give us, our thoughts and opinion. But I think the big one that Colin wanted me to talk about was, I think Star Wars needs to take a break. I think it needs to go away for a while,
Damn. My heart.
right?
So let's elaborate on this a little
I'm not making friends tonight. I can tell you that.
bit. Yeah, you might upsetty spaghetti these fans.
So okay, so the big news that we've heard is the Ray movie that was scheduled for 2026 has been pulled from the slate of movie releases, and instead we will be getting Ice Age 6.
Yeah, what a could you oh man, Star Wars getting beat out by Ice Age
Well,
just
that's what
doesn't
they're
feel
filling
good.
their their docket with,
That does not feel good.
right?
I personally was never an Ice Age fan, so that's like an extra big kick to me. Um, I think those movies were just super gimmicky and kind of horrible.
Well, I think even
And
more than that, you're not a big Star Wars fan of Ray.
well, no, I'm not, but I'd rather a Ray movie
Like,
than an Ice Age movie. Like, how are you going to take that off the slate to give it? Why is it gone? Is it because they don't have a writer? They don't have a script. They don't have a director. They don't have
I think at this point
anybody but Ray.
so they have the director. The director is the we did a video on her, the controversial
The
figure.
Shreem.
Yeah.
She's still the director.
Yeah, so I think there's a little bit of pushback there. Um, an educated guess would be that there's no script. So the Mandalorian and Grogu movie is being filmed right now,
Yep.
is it not? They're working on it. That's the 2025. That's next year's movie.
Yep.
We're talking 2026 for the Ray movie.
When was the last time we got a movie?
So
Was it Rogue One or Solo or
I think the last movie was Rise of Skywalker, was it not?
was yeah? I guess that would make
So
more
that would be
sense.
2019.
Yeah, five
So
years.
from Revenge of the Sith 2005 to Force Awakens 2015, we had 10 years.
Yeah.
10 years of just like, if you were a Star Wars fan, there was media out there, there was books you could read. You know what I mean? It just wasn't down your,
Clone Wars came out in that time. Clone Wars is 2008.
right?
So we had the Clone Wars.
Let's just take a breather from all the stuff. I think, Acolyte was not well received. Fans didn't like it.
I liked it.
I loved it. Well, okay. I wouldn't say I
I went wrong.
that's okay. It wasn't the greatest thing out there, but it was good and it was
Yeah.
something different.
Exactly, and that's what we were saying before the Acolyte came out was we needed something different, right?
Yes.
Apparently people don't want different. People want people do we know what people want? 'Cause do
I don't
people
think
know what people
I
want?
don't think people know what they want. I think the majority of Star Wars fans um, don't know what it is they want.
Yeah.
So
Do you guys know what you want?
yeah,
Put it
what
in
do
the
you guys
comments.
want? This is a live show. We're communicating with you. Um,
Like I'm not very picky. I've been happy with most of the projects we've got.
well, what is it like? Do you want another video game? I heard there was an update out for Outlaws, and people are happy because Ubisoft is
I haven't
supporting
played
it.
that.
I've never played it. I don't have the desire to.
Yeah. I'm
You
not a
know,
big RPG guy. So Cal Kestis like the first game was awesome. Second game was good, wasn't as awesome, but it's too much for me. Like I just don't have the time to
yeah,
dive into a character like that. And I want something that's more along the lines of like I guess that was old style RPG, the Jedi games with Kyle Katarn. Like I guess that was an RPG back in the day, right? But
more of an action. And it's a weird because every game you play is an adventure game,
yeah,
and every game has
but it
action.
was just
But it's
simpler.
yeah,
I don't need to grow vegetables and stuff and like I'm a Jedi. I'm saving the galaxy. I don't want to have a plant farm and I don't want to have to research stuff and I don't like you know what I mean? I'm like let me just do the story and like not have to do all these side quests to feel like I need to complete the game, you know? Like those old Jedi games, you can beat the game in a week. And It's an amazing game. You enjoy the story. It's a lot of fun. It's replayable, which is another thing. Like
So
I
you
can't go
like
back and
you
replay.
like just some easier games. So like Squadrons, was that a game you liked?
Didn't even
I
play it.
didn't play it, but it was a
So
shorter one,
the
wasn't it?
space stuff for me
Oh
is never.
my
I've
gosh,
never been big into space
what a
games.
fan!
Like what?
Neither of us. We haven't like
Oh
watched
yeah.
or played.
It was like for space games. I'm just so crappy at flying in games. So the space games have never been my thing. Like Battlefront, I always stay on the ground because I'm not a pilot in those
You
games. Like
fly the ship into the other hangar and
legit, yeah. Like I'm just
yeah,
not. I'm crashing with my team and
yeah,
killing
it's the same
everyone,
thing.
and I'm a good ground assault. But yeah, so I think just a simpler old style Star Wars game would be fun, or remake Cotter like they said they were gonna do. I think that's a good idea.
Well, and that one got me because a lot of games right now we're at a point in the industry where it's a lot of remakes.
Yeah,
It's a lot of Resident Evil 2, Silent Hill
it's
2.
not necessarily a bad thing if it's done right though. Like,
No, I mean we want new original stuff, but for what it's worth, you know,
but that don't seem to be working for him.
what is working right now? So what is the most successful Star Wars thing?
Mando.
Making a movie, right?
Yep.
What is this? What would you say is the second? Well, you wouldn't say. What's the second most successful?
Andor.
And we've got Andor season 2 coming out.
Yep.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, good point. So what's next other than the Ray movie? We got Mando and that's it, right? Skeleton Crew Mando and that's it.
Yes. So,
Someone sent me a thing saying they were going to do like an Acolyte season 2 or a movie for the Acolyte. Is
uh,
that a real thing or
no, I sent that to you. There was some speculation. I just liked sharing it because I had jokingly
yeah.
preached that. I think that's how they should end that. Excuse me. But we'll see what happens. But again, if it just goes away for a bit, we can all forget about this.
Dude, they're replacing
Just forget about it.
and I get where you're coming from 100%. Like I think a big part of the fandom would be like that was old Star Wars. We're in a new Star Wars era. If they came back with like some bangers. Like give us a time frame,
Yeah,
evaluate yourself, come back with some bangers. Like I get what you're saying. I think the fandom would be like, "That's old Star Wars. This is new Star
that's
Wars."
phase one Disney Star Wars.
Exactly, and then we'd move on from that, and that's not a bad idea. But me, who has enjoyed bits and pieces of everything that's come out, legit everything but Visions and that stupid Young Jedi Adventures, but those shows weren't made for me, so I don't.
Visions was made for you. We
No,
watched an
Visions
episode
was
of
not made
Visions.
for me. It's an anime, and I don't like anime, so it was not made
Ah,
for
all
me.
right,
You know what I mean? Like I just was
okay, all
not
right.
open to enjoying it before I even watched it.
See, Visions to me is like it was like a gift for fans of like a different world in Star Wars. And
Yeah,
yeah, some are anime.
which is cool.
Um,
And like I feel like I like what I wanted kind of got spat on with Visions too because I wanted like a what if kind of
yeah,
scenario with Star Wars, and then they gave us that as the what if,
but
and I
even
was like,
that's
dang,
surprising that we don't have that, right? You would think that we'd have like a what if,
it would be amazing. It would be so good.
an animated one. You could just
Yeah,
do like a really nice like 2D
yeah,
style.
it would be amazing,
There's so many stories.
dude. Oh,
You could do all the Legends comics, like what happens if Luke didn't blow up the Death Star. You
So
know, for
that's exactly, and like that's what I lived on when Star Wars was in its dark period of the sequels and nothing else was Star Wars theories,
that's
friggin'
dark.
um, what ifs, because that's basically just what he did was what
Yeah.
ifs, and I mean we all know how he turned out and not doing that anymore, but those were good, those were really good, and if Disney put big money into those could be amazing, like endless stories, endless stories, like. Did you ever watch his fan theories at all?
Oh yeah,
They're
yeah.
great.
So
Like
I
some
mean,
of them are
okay.
super entertaining.
So as Disney, you have all these assets. You make a what if story. You release a volume every year, and like
You stick just a team of people just on that with a creative guy and just let them go nuts. Because the thing is, you can't mess it up, right? Like it doesn't have to follow lore. So you can't really mess it up. Like Boba should have been a what if story. Kenobi should have been a what if story. And then they should have done it proper. You
yeah,
know,
okay,
like
okay, that's fair.
like Boba turning Boba into a sappy little guy and letting Fennec kind of take over. That would have been
Yeah,
an
that would have.
interesting what if.
Don't fully understand. But yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot of stories out there. What happens if, um, and you could even do some fun ones too with the sequel trilogy. What happens if, Luke didn't die? Facing Kylo. What happens if he was there? You know what I mean? Like do that, like So you could do some really cool scenes. What happens if Qui-Gon survived the battle against Darth Maul and
Yeah.
Obi-Wan died?
What if Qui-Gon trained Anakin?
We've had some great ones.
Oh, dude, we could come up with a million of those right
And
now.
they could do like 20 to 40-minute animated episodes or 20-minute episodes, like two
Yeah,
parts or
do
something.
20-minute episodes. They don't even have to be big. And then if you need to, do part one, part two, part three if you got to tell a bigger story.
Yeah, I'm good for that.
But 20-minute episodes, animated up good, quick, short. We don't need full backstories because we all know these characters.
Yeah, brilliant. So it's not like a lot of
It's got to be cheap. It's got to be a
oh, okay,
fail-safe
and
way to make content.
the intro could be the world between worlds that so it
Yep.
could be like a camera panning through like the world between
And
worlds
you
and
just
seeing
enter
portals.
one, and
Yeah,
boom,
and they're just like
genius.
on Star Wars like what's a name for it?
Did we just come up with a
Jeez,
Star Wars channel?
we need a like a banger of a name for it. Like not essentially what if Star Wars like timelines. I think people are getting rid of like multiverse and timelines or the like Star Wars like
Because it's not being done right in an entertaining way.
yeah. But something like this and then you just do it and, like that's it. And you just have fun telling stories. And you could do it like Visions even, where you could change the art style from episode to episode. Like it doesn't need to be a consistent art style, but it could just be like a fun story,
Yeah,
you know?
dude. Start like a
For
page
all
on here and
for
we'll,
all four people watching right
man,
now. Yeah.
dude, send in your donos. Let's make this
But I mean,
happen.
so like, wouldn't that be a fun one? Because then they could still produce Star Wars content. Like you said, it's not based on any lore, so no one's getting upset.
Yeah,
You still have some like merch you can sell, some
yeah,
cute action, uh, creatures, and you know what I mean. It's
yeah,
not a big investment, and then just spend your time doing a movie. But like, let the movie cook.
yeah,
Like, a year or two on the script, like figure the
yeah.
stuff out. Start your proper pre-production. You know what I mean? Like
Take time to build not just one movie. Like if you're gonna do a
trilogy.
trilogy, build your whole trilogy. Don't make it up on the spot.
So the other thing we had discussed it was Simon Kinberg. I'm just going to pull it up right now. I believe that's who has been. So Simon Kinberg is supposedly writing this new trilogy. So some of the stuff he's been involved with, Dark Phoenix, X Men Apocalypse, X Men Days of Future Past, Last Stand, First Class. So New Mutants, Fantastic Four, Logan. So he's kind of in that superhero. Deadpool 2,
Dang.
3.
Okay.
These are just all products he's been involved with. Rebels, so like The Martian, Bird in the Orient. So,
Wow, those are some big movies.
yeah. So I don't know, like if he has been as a producer, screenwriter, director of all those, but sounds like it might be in good hands.
You think you'd think the switch of movies would be an actual joke? Yeah, legit.
That's right.
The switch of movies would be an actual joke. You'd think they'd be an actual joke. Ice Age with the Ray movie.
Yeah,
Like it
it's
just doesn't even sound real.
well. I mean, that's how much faith they have in the movie right now.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's probably a good thing in all honesty, right? Like,
Well, I'm happy that they're doing this.
yeah.
I listen. I'm super happy. There could be a
So
good
when do you
Raymond.
want Star Wars to come back? Like 2032?
Let's give us another 5 years. I think right now, we've got a movie coming out next year, don't we?
2026 is well, I guess not anymore. So yeah, 2025 to 2030.
It's not the end of, it's not the end of the world.
Let us take over. We'll make our What If series.
But I mean, like the What If series could be good.
Dude,
You know what I mean? If they still want to keep making kid stuff like the Star Wars Adventures or whatever, like I don't think that affects fans, right? So if
yeah.
we're like, hey, there's another season of Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures because they want kids watching and they want to sell to it, cool, great.
Yeah.
But for like Star Wars fans, like give us something good and it doesn't need to be all the time.
I'm in agreement.
So,
When you first said it, I was like, I don't know, man. That's a bold
well,
claim, but I think you've got a good point where they do need to just cook and make some good content.
let's we want to do a Deadpool and Wolverine reviews. Okay, so we could do that. So Simon Kinberg, I'm just trying to find out what he was an executive producer of Deadpool and Wolverine.
I would be down, dude.
So yeah, we can talk about that. I mean, like we can branch out too. You
Yeah.
know, there's other.
Or original
series.
trilogy. We do have to do an original trilogy.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe we'll do the original trilogy first,
Yeah.
and then we can try going from there into some other content. What I want to do, and I want to get recommendations for you guys. I want to review Star Wars like movies or content. So things like Rebel Moon. So that was supposed to
Yeah.
be a Star Wars movie. So like, let's watch that and see what it's like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's watch a thing like the Megalopolis, the original one, like with that design for the C-3PO. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay, yeah.
let's watch some things that generally have had an influence or any kind of correlation to that. I'd be down for that
Yeah, that could be interesting. Some Star Wars light content.
because we did.
Spaceballs.
Did we review it when we did Roger Christian's movie?
What, Spaceballs?
No, the Black Knight.
It's Fit Together. Hey, Fit Together. Hey, gents. Missed y'all the past few weeks. New setup, new look. The new setup looking good. My goodness, I can't read tonight,
That's
bro.
all right.
Yeah, good to see you again. Or good to chat with you again. How you been? So, we gonna do the skeleton crew thing?
Yeah.
Table talk? Alright.
So let's we're going to watch the what is the cast? We haven't seen this yet. I think it's a 10-minute recording of the cast and crew discussing skeletons for here. So may have sent you the link for it, but Colin's just pulling it up now. That right there. Filmmaker Roundtable. Changing over. But again, I'm excited for Skeleton Crew. I think it could take Stars in a new direction, like this fun kind of light, like
Yeah.
let's leave the main storyline and all the big, heavy, world ending action. You know what I mean? Let's just tell a story.
Alright.
Okay. Oh, we got to change the audio too, right?
Yeah.
Look at this guy here. You think this is his first stream?
Right? Noob.
For those of you wondering, I'm drinking Rockstar Punched Charged Cherry. I don't normally do the energy drinks. That's a Colin thing, and been bouncing off walls tonight. Let me tell you.
Okay, so I gotta figure out how to do the audio thing again real quick. Sorry about that.
Trying to play my phone at the same time.
I think we might just have to read it, buddy. That all good?
All right. Well, join and play at the same time so you can get the audio. You can hear it while we watch it.
They need to hear it. No, they can hear it.
Oh yeah.
They can hear us.
Oh yeah. See, that's how sharp I am.
Just
Okay, start from the beginning. Wow, look at this janky ass podcast setup we have, eh? Thanks, everyone.
just
It's really fun to be able to write a show with your best friend and then make it with all of your friends. And we're really fortunate. Especially when the show's about a bunch of friends. Yeah, Skeleton Crew is about friends. It's by friends for friends. It's starring friends. This is what it's going to be like. This is as best as we can do. Our friendship. This is going to be a fun roundtable because I've known
Director Spider-Man.
since 2004. No one calls you Chris, right? Do you want to be called Chris on the round table? No, that's
So
weird.
John Watts directed one,
We've
two,
known
and
each other
three.
for such a long time. I've known
Maybe
you
like the
since I
newer
was
Spider-Man
18.
ones?
You since I was 18. Known you since I was 18. Yep.
Bryce Dallas Howard. Steve Murray.
And what's your name? We all went to school together at NYU, and I'm just a fan of you. Right back at you guys on the third Spider-Man I was shooting with John Favreau. We were just talking, and I gave him the very, very quick pitch, and he was like, "Would you want me to produce it? Is that cool? Will it be like me and Dave Filoni?" And I was like, "Yes, John Favreau, that would be great."
I remember when I was working on season 3 of Mandalorian and doing the previs, the third floor team who creates animates and creates all of the previs, they were working on the show on Skeleton Crew, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, how is it?" And they were like, "It's so good." So there was already buzz on campus about it.
So it's really easy. Yes, and you told me the elevator pitch of the show, and then mentioned that Jude Law was going to be starring in it, and I feel like I had just left set like 5 minutes earlier. Yeah, they
Like, I've got a feeling like
and a bunch of kids.
his character
And I
won't
was like,
die.
this
Like, I
is
mean,
going to
like it's a
be
pretty big name. I think it's hard to keep it for later seasons, but like it's a
we
big pull.
when we first thought of you, and then it was with like, oh, is he gonna want to just repeat what he had done with Jude Law? It's like, duh, and kids. Seriously, yes. A diagram that's like Jude Law, pirates, kids, and then David Lowery is it? That's the guy you get. Yeah. I'm just their roommate from college, so it's
Be a very dangerous diagram. Kids and pirates.
Yeah, Jay.
maybe not that qualified. Like it was more like
Legit, not true.
everyone keeps saying like I'm qualified a lot, and like makes you feel like maybe I wasn't so qualified. But that's great. It's fine. I just had to clean up after you guys. Yeah, you have a particular set of skills. Yes, exactly.
How did you get the Daniels to do this?
I know that Daniel.
What I'm taking from this really quick is I'm really enjoying how close everyone is.
So Randall,
Yeah.
they've known each other since.
So it means like they're not
creative
gonna
guys.
overstep
Hired them.
the
done
direction of someone else, and they're going to be able to
everything
like discuss.
we knew they would
I
be
love that
awesome.
that's a
Just the
real,
most.
like-
It's just so original and amazing. We wanted them, and we wanted Lee Isaac Chung. Minari is like the most moving story of like a little boy going into a new world that he doesn't understand, and that's basically a version of what this show is.
And Isaac, it was really cool because we got to work on season 3 of Mandalorian together, and so he was like one of the directors that had gotten the bug and was just like, "Yeah, I'll do another one."
He had already understood the process, and
Yeah.
that plus his ability to work with kids was just like made him so perfect.
You know, something that I noticed that was really kind of extraordinary is so often when you're doing anything as a director, you think about tone. Like that's a hugely important component, especially when you're a director who's coming in and directing an episode, you know, where there are creators and writers and showrunners who are also directing and all of that. And so you really need to kind of not create the tone yourself. You need to adopt the tone.
So yeah, so this, so like you're working with these people, you're working off of their work.
With a tone. Like that's just inherent. And it, I think, allowed for there to be so much cohesiveness in the storytelling because you all have such a shorthand. And I mean, I feel kind of included in this as well. Like I know what you guys do. I know the vibe. And it was just awesome to get to kind of step into that.
That's what's great about having Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni as your producers is because they're like the ultimate safety net. They give you sort of the freedom to follow.
Everyone complains
whatever
about Kathleen
creative path
Kennedy,
you
but
wanna
I feel
go
like
down, and
how does that
they'll-
affect anything? It's like Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. I'm fucking here. Yeah.
People are always asking, what are the tonal?
It sounds like they are.
It's not like
Like she may have say, and like they may have some like requests. So, like
well,
it sounds like you know,
it's like it's gonna be a
they
little bit of
call the shots.
wonder, imagining with a hint of this. That's just like in our DNA. So we just talk about the story and then write it, and then I think find ourselves surprised at what we're referencing when we're writing. Right. It just comes out. Yeah. Like I mean, you have always loved pirates. There was a sound project from freshman year where you guys are just doing all of the pirate voices, like a pirate radio drama. I love pirates. This is not coming from nowhere. This is yeah.
So we called it the trailer. I think the pirates that we saw in Mando are going to be.
Yeah. And you know, we went back and watched like old pirate serials from like the 20s and 30s, and that was a really fun entry point. But just the stuff that you connect with as a kid. As a kid, you want to go on an adventure. As a kid, I grew up in Colorado in the middle of nowhere, and we just go for walks out in these like fields with nothing around, and you're just hoping that you go on a kind of Amblin adventure. That's just what we grew up with, and that's the kind of adventure that we were always looking for as kids. Yeah.
The Amblin reference is so a part of us because we were raised in that world.
There's that sense of wanting to go on an adventure as a kid, but I think anyone can remember that moment, like when you're a kid and you sort of expect that like maybe all adults will be safe and helpful, and then you realize that like adults are complicated and the world is not. And that's even in Goonies, you know, it's this like realization that
It said Goonies.
don't know.
It's even referencing it.
Want to do things, but just that there's something really, really resonant about that. And there's a really interesting tonal balance. Like the thing that made those Amblin movies have that spirit was something that Kathy Kennedy would talk about. She would say they grown-up films that just happen to star kids. So you'd make 4 10-year-old kids your main characters, but it's not a kids show. It's not a kids film. You're still making the stakes really real. You're still making it dangerous. You're combining that, you know, childlike sense of wonder with a real dangerous world and a Star Wars show that can sit next to all the other things in the Star Wars environment. Having Jude on set is like, Jude Law is so amazing. And he was like sort of the co-director and like in so many ways because he's there with the kids in
He is
almost every
the
scene,
biggest
keeping
name in
them
the show, right?
focused,
Like the only
running
big
lines
name.
with them,
I think so.
making sure they hit their marks. Like he was just like, in addition to being like an incredible actor and wonderful man, like he also just helped us so much with the kids. It's such a gift to have an actor like that who not only can just, give you that incredible performance, but also show the next generation of talent. I just, as an example, I just remember seeing him like in the cockpit, and he's holding the yoke, and he's looking, he's seeing all this stuff, and it's just a blue screen, and it's like he seemed more lost in his imagination than even the kids, and they would like look to that, and be like, okay, I'd say you really have to like really imagine really hard. Yeah, he's like in a way, him in real life and his character are kind of like a grown-up version of all of the kids on the crew. And yeah, he brought like the grown-up side of that sense of wonder and imagination. We'll make a pot here. We have to move fast. Another incredible thing about making the show is that when your main characters are 4 10-year-old kids, every day on set is like the greatest day in the world. Because they're so amazed at every single thing that's going on. It's the best morale booster. Yeah, like everyone has a great time because the kids are having a great time. They're seeing animatronics and puppets and just all kinds of crazy special effects. They're having so much fun. And our 4 kids were it's such a fantastic little group. Like, I love them so much. It reminds you of why you got into the business in the first place. So that like you're getting to pretend, you're getting to play, you're getting to invent and have so much fun doing it. And so often filmmaking can become a job, but it's not. And when you're working with children, it reminds you that this is all make believe and it's so much fun. Robin was doing all the jobs. He would always do the clapperboard. Anytime anyone would let him, he wanted to do that. He wanted to call action and cut. He wanted to learn what all the jobs were. He also started the trend of mustaches on set. Yeah. Mustaches. Yeah. They all came dressed up as various crew members on Halloween.
Robbie came and dressed
It was
as
just me.
he showed up with a Starbucks earphones. Yeah.
Based on what the story was going to be, we knew they had to start in a more safe planet. It was an opportunity to, design a new thing. Like the kids' bikes was a really good place to start because I think when you're designing a speeder bike, it looks really cool. Yeah. Like, how do you make Wynn's bike be really? Come back. We need to bring in more fluffy, and yeah, it's like a little tassel. There's tassel on it, and there are tassels in space. Are there tassels in space? These are the kinds of questions. That was crazy.
There are now.
Well, Dave Filoni would be like, are there tassels? Well, there are now. Yeah.
Are you Dave Filoni?
I'm excited for people to see Skeleton Crew because it's the same Star Wars universe that you know and you love. It's just a new perspective. The ability to see that world through the eyes of 4 10-year-old kids, I think, is a completely new way to enter this world that some of us know and love, some of us maybe haven't ever really experienced before. Yeah, we were just drawn to that idea of these kids stumbling into the larger galaxy and not understanding it all. That was just natural to us, but it turned out that it's a great way for people who don't know the universe to get introduced to it because they're along with the kids. Or if you know all about it, you know all the things the kids are getting wrong and messing up, which is funny and tense. Yeah, it's fun to be able to make something that works if you don't know anything about Star Wars and also works if you know everything about Star Wars. Yeah, and then those people can finally be friends with each other. Great job.
Okay. I'm just super excited to watch this.
Dang. Are you?
Yeah, I think so.
How excited? All right, let's go. Let's rattle off some of these comments. Fit Together said, I think you're all getting this YouTube stuff down. Thank you. Really appreciate that.
Appreciate
That's
that.
awesome. Let me turn it back. Look at, as he says that, I'm on the wrong screen. That's so funny. I got real excited with the comments there.
He got real excited.
Real excited. Okay. I think y'all are getting this YouTube stuff down. Yeah, but don't forget what they did to the Matrix chick. They killed her first episode.
That's true.
Yep.
That's true.
John Robbie said we need a Star Wars show for adults too. Not always just kids stuff. And yes, it's a kids show, not dangerous. I think I totally agree. I would definitely love more of an R-rated Star Wars show. I think the Acolyte was nice for that because there was a lot of parts that were more
I think again
serious and stuff.
we've discussed this. They're trying to go Stranger Things, where Stranger Things wasn't the
Yeah.
hard R, but was like adult themes with children. So it's easier to understand the severity of a situation because it's like a child that's innocent, that's defenseless, you know what I mean? So it sets the stakes that much higher. We've seen enough protagonists right now that are young men or young women that are capable of doing this. Skeleton Crew is these kids can't handle themselves. They're not able
Yeah.
to talk their way out of situations, fight their
They're
way out.
just
You know what I mean?
lost.
Yeah.
Read the next one.
See, that's why I like Andor. Oh, we love it. I love Andor. Wait, did that water slash did that water slash an actual?
I think in the trailer, when the kid drove through, the water went up like it was a tire.
Was it supposed to be like? I don't know how those repulsors work, but yeah,
It's like he actually just rode a bike through the puddle and
That
they
might-
forgot to take the water
that might
effect
be a
out.
good catch. So okay, so just really quick here. So Skeleton
Splash.
Crew was announced May 17th of 2022.
No way.
Yeah.
That's a long time ago, bro.
This just says right here on the fandom. So it was announced 2022 under the code name Grammar Rodeo and will take place in the same year as The Mandalorian. So they're setting these characters up to be seen again. Obviously, right? If it takes place in The Mandalorian time,
Yeah.
everyone's going to cross. But May 17th, 2022. So it's 2 years of production and that's good. I'm cool with that. You know what I mean?
When does it come out? December?
Yeah. So that's why it's a good thing. It's a positive thing that the Ray movie has been pushed back because we don't want something that's rushed.
Yeah.
They know they can't do that.
Yeah.
That's my 2 cents.
I agree with you. I'm down. I would take a break in Star Wars stuff. I think in the breaks, bring out competition, which forces Star Wars to be better and do something. And in that time, they can take time to plan, build, hire, film. Like you said, don't rush anything. Just make good old Star Wars. Dude, if we need more than 5 years, I'll do more than 5 years.
I've said this in the past. There's probably some really good scripts out there. Some really good Star Wars scripts floating around. Take your time.
There definitely is.
So that's our thoughts. So I think the next for us is we're gonna get ready for the Skeleton Crew because that's a December 2nd. I think release a 2-part episode. So what we'll do is our next episode will be a post watch review.
Yeah.
I think it's the best way to do it. So we may move our dates around from Tuesday showings, just to accommodate with the releases.
When's it coming out? Is it Tuesday nights or Wednesday nights?
I have to check. So if it's Tuesday nights, maybe we'll do a stream on the Tuesday night. If they come out Wednesday, we'll do it Wednesday. That way we can, watch with you guys, at a reasonable time, and then discuss it. So, Colin, you're excited,
I'm very excited.
and you're indifferent to the Ray movie being.
I'm just super PO'd that Ice Age is what replaces it.
That's right.
Like, brother, Ice Age. Like,
That's what we get.
did anyone like those movies?
I think someone does. There's 6 of them.
Fit Together says full transparency. We don't need a Ray movie. There's way better stories out there. I agree. There's a million better stories.
And I think the reason that it's a Ray movie is because they've said that Ray is the only big character that will tie future movies in.
Yeah.
Because again, they didn't use Finn in any reasonable way, so he doesn't, serve any major purpose of the plot. He's not a Jedi,
No one even likes Jin.
I think everyone did, but then he just didn't go anywhere. We get sidelined. Anyways,
Andor rocks, and why Ice Age of all things, says John McRobbie. Totally agree with both of that. I'd rather watch a Jar Jar What If movie. Anything's better than Ray. But
maybe we'll watch Star Wars Build the Galaxy.
Yeah, we do have to do that.
I want to. You don't.
You're right. Anyways, till next week.
Thank
We
you for joining us.
will keep you updated. We'll see you next week. Thanks for chatting. and hit that follow button if you're not already. Peace out.